What's the Not Your Finest Hour podcast? What is that all? I mean, I've heard stories.
Not Our Finest Hour podcast. One I'll have to check out one of these days when I get a minute to listen to it. I've been told it's not for everyone. I don't know. It's just the general reviews I hear on it, but it has been getting really good reviews.
And I've never personally listened to it, but I have heard it's not for everyone.
I listened to the Not Our Finest Hour podcast. Just great podcast. I've really enjoyed that.
I'm not endorsing anything. From what I said, from what Caleb told me, he said don't endorse anything unless you listen to it first.
I do once in a while listen in, and it's a lot of fun. But I do got to be careful. It is not for everyone.
Caleb Allman is always dropping notes that it's one of the most value-added shows out there.
Of course, through all the Not Our Finest Hour, you guys poking fun at so much different stuff is absolutely killer.
I don't feel any oppression tonight. In fact, I feel very free. The Not Our Finest Hour podcast. Thanks for being here.
Welcome to the beginning of the podcast. Recorded like normal on a Tuesday night for the first time in a while. I think all of us on this podcast can agree that out of the three of us, I am the most masterful at finding ways to fuck up my life.
You've got experience.
And there's new ones every day. So I found last night, somehow, during soccer practice, my phone was either stolen or it got lost.
Oh.
So if you really want to fuck up your life, lose your phone or have it stolen. Whatever happened to it, I'm not sure.
Did you use Find My Phone?
That doesn't help.
Oh.
It gets you within 10 meters of the phone. And then it only gets you to within 10 meters of where the phone was shut off. Not insanely helpful when it's in someone's pocket.
Well, if the 10 meters is moving, then you know that someone took it.
No, wherever it gets shut off, that's the last position it'll give you.
But they have to turn it on at some point, don't they?
No. And if they do turn it on and it's not locked, well, I guess your choice would be to wait until to see if they turn it on. And if they do turn it on and it logs onto a network, it will log a new position. But there's also a chance then they could get into your phone and get all your shit or fuck up your fucking anything they want.
Do you not have a password on your phone?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure someone could figure it out. I grenaded the phone. I was like, whatever, because there's a thing you can punch on your watch that says phone is lost when the watch is on Wi-Fi, and then it grenades the phone.
What does it do? It explodes?
Wipes it. No, it wipes it. We're not fucking the Israeli army here. Fucking, it wipes the phone. And it can never be opened. Even if they did guess the code, it'll just say phone is lost. So, but if you really want to fuck up your life, lose your phone.
Yeah.
So, I haven't slept for like 24 hours or whatever because I was like lying in bed saying, what's the first thing that's going to fuck up when no one can get a hold of me? So then I went to the yard and the new driver, Andrew, who so far has done nothing to be released without cause because there is no cause. I took the cell phone the company gave him and then said, okay, everyone call me on that phone is now the Darian/Colin/Don/Andrew phone because it's had 4 users in the last 6 months, 8 months or something. So I put out a thing, whatever this phone is registered as in your phone, this is the phone you can reach me at now. The Andrew/Don/fucking Colin/Darian phone. Just call that phone. You can reach me on that motherfucker now till I get my own phone. So then I went to the store when it opened at 10. And I went in and there was a huge lineup. And I'm not good at being frustrated with myself. when I'm frustrated with myself, I become outwardly angry and then lash out at other people to make them feel as bad about themselves as I do about myself.
Mm.
But I didn't see how that at 50, see at like 25, I would have just started screaming in the store. But at 50, I didn't see how that was going to help my situation. So I used deep breathing techniques. While some woman was debating what was going to be essentially $2 off per month her bill, started getting money out of my wallet to say, here, it's a 2-year contract. You're saving $24 a year. Here's $50. Get the fuck out of the store. I need a phone. But I held back. Did not do that. I sat there for the hour while she debated the $2 a month. And then I got my chance with the TELUS person who was very nice. Kyle. Shout out to Kyle from TELUS and Barrie, because that's where we were working. So I had driven to Barrie with and he said, what kind of phone do you want? I said, I don't know, whatever the largest screen, highest gig iPhone is. It's like, well, that's expensive. I'm like, bro, I've probably lost $10,000 already this morning. I don't care. This is just this is one huge loss. I don't give a shit. Do you want me to pay cash for Here's an interesting thing. When you get an Apple phone now from a newer one, because they didn't have any of the iPhone 16s. So I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, whatever the fuck this is. He's like, what color do you want? I'm like, I don't fucking care, dude. New phone. Whatever color gets on the network the fastest. I'm a grown man. I couldn't give a fuck what color my phone is. Pink, green, it doesn't matter. Does it have a screen? Can I get into the fucking apps I need? I have clients fucking texting me that don't know what the fuck's going on. People are sending me DMs on Instagram going, because I grenaded the phone from my watch with the lost thing, and then Kelly grenaded the phone on TELUS. So people are calling it, and it's like saying number out of service or client refusing to pick up number.
went bankrupt.
Fucking perfect, yeah. Meanwhile, this guy's debating the cost difference between. I know he was a nice guy and he was doing his job. He's debating like you could save an extra $10. I don't care about $10 a month, dude.
But do you not realize that the lady before you, $2 a month was important to her?
I know.
And he deals with this shit all the time, right? He doesn't deal with $5 million business owners. So he's just doing all he knows how to do. His non-transferable skill set.
It's non-transferable skills. I have to say, he was awesome. Kyle was amazing. He sat with me for 2.5 hours while I got the phone restored. He taught me how to do it. He did an amazing job. I'm not being critical of him because you're right. He was doing what he's trained to do. But I'm trying to say to the guy, like, I don't give a fuck about $10 a month. I spent $9,000 on diesel fuel last week, bro. Like, I don't give a shit. I need this fucking phone to work. Like, I feel like my anxiety and my self-worth, my anxiety is at an all-time high and my self-worth is at an all-time low because I have come to a point in my life where I can't maintain possession of a phone. Like, that's not a hard thing. Like, maintaining possession of a fucking phone, I can't do it anymore. Anyways, Kyle got me set up and he helped me. A few interesting things. So the guy says, I said, I don't know how much is this phone. And I think it was like $2,000. I said, all right, well, I'll just pay for it. Right? Like, I hate having phones on a contract. I hate them dragging out on payments. I'm like, I just pay for it. I'll give you the money. The guy says, well, you can't do that with an Apple phone. It has to be on a payment plan. I said, is he telling me these people don't? No, it does. If you get a brand new
one from Apple for $2,000, it's coming at the end of the month.
Oh, so no, but if you bought it direct from Apple, so they control the inventory. The problem is at these TELUS places or whatever, someone will, when the iPhone 16s come in, someone will come in and buy all 100 that come in and then put them on Kijiji and sell them for $100 more than they paid for them. So now they have this.
I tried that with Chinese excavators. It doesn't work.
I guess it works for people with cell phones. I don't know. So I'm attempting to pay for this phone in full, and they're not letting me. which was mildly frustrating. And then I was like, I don't know, dude. Whatever the rules are, can we get the phone activated? Again, I don't care that much about this. I just need this phone to work. If you need to, if TELUS and Apple feel better with me giving them, because it's also interest free. There's no interest on the phone. I'm like, why the fuck would anyone want, except for Chad with his payment plan, want people to pay them back money interest free?
I think there's different phone plans for those on payment plans versus not. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So there's like an inflated price on on the cell phone bill. But if you bring a phone in and go on to TELUS, then you pay a smaller telephone bill.
Well, because you're not paying for the phone.
No, not just that. So when I upgraded my phone for the first time in however many years, I was on a really cheap phone plan, and when I got the phone, they tried to put me on that cell phone plan, which would have added like $40 a month or something like that.
See, I don't really care what it was going to be a month. I just don't like going in there and having that feeling that they're holding something above you, like they're holding your phone above you. And they're like, well, this phone is really expensive. It's going to be like $1,000, but we'll put it on the plan, and it's only going to cost you $50 a month. Like, fuck off. Let me buy my own phone. I'll bring it myself, and you just pop that SIM card in there, and we're good.
So in a different situation, I would have ordered a phone from Apple. I guess because I don't remember the last time normally Kelly orders the phones from Amazon or something whenever we need them. Amazon, or I don't know, wherever she gets them. She just orders phones and they deliver them to the house. And then because we go through a lot of cell phones.
If your phone stopped working, wouldn't your Apple Watch still work? Like you could still take calls.
It will work. It'll work on Wi-Fi.
Oh, but you can get a SIM card for your Apple Watch, can you not?
Not the one I have. Not the free one that I won at the Arnt's fucking Christmas draw. There may be a watch that does that. I don't think this one was optioned out that way. I actually didn't have the watch on because the watch has an alert on it when the watch gets too far from the phone. So and all of that led me to believe that I should have, at 50, I need to have a watch that alerts me when I'm away from my phone now.
Apparently.
I thought I didn't need it. I thought I'd be okay, but I was wrong. My brain has disintegrated to the point where I need a watch to tell me when I'm not near my phone. And the proof is in the pudding from yesterday. I was away from my phone and I didn't know. See, the whole time I thought the phone was in the truck because I walked from the benches to the truck. I opened the door. I got in the truck, sat down. I went to put my phone on the magnet and it wasn't in my pocket. I was like, oh, that's not good. Must have fallen or something. So I turned on the truck to see if it would log on the Bluetooth, right? Because then you know the phone is near the truck. But the truck was not logging onto the Bluetooth. I was like, oh, this is a bad sign. This is a really fucking bad sign. And I Paisley and I searched for the phone for, I don't know, like fucking an hour and a half. And then she has to go to school. She has a busy schedule. She had a track meet. So I was like, well, I guess this phone is done. Goodbye, purple iPhone 14. I hope you're doing well with whoever fucking has you. Although the guy at the TELUS store said basically it's like a brick, and the best thing you could do is to smelt the gold out of it.
Well, you got to take some relief in that whoever has it can do absolutely nothing with it.
I actually never actually cared about the actual phone. Like, I don't give a shit about the phone. They're disposable. It's like buying a shovel, or I was more worried about the shit that's in the phone.
Yeah.
If someone ever figured out the code or whatever, right? Like
it must be a pain to now, because when you get a new iPhone, you just like scan a QR code and all the data goes from your old phone into your new phone. What's it going to do with Your new
I
phone?
just came up from the cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It restored the last time that it was backed up to the cloud was October 6th. So I lost 1 day's worth of text messages and bullshit. That'll
Wow.
probably come back to haunt me 70 ways to Sunday, that one day. Probably a lot of stuff happened on that day that was super important for a month from now. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the
Well,
fucking text.
I think that was a Sunday, so
No, it was
maybe
Monday.
quieter than a regular day.
It was Monday.
Was it? Well,
Yeah. It was yesterday that I lost. I lost yesterday. It's like it all never happened to me.
hmm.
It's like the whole world just never happened. So
Hmm.
whatever. I just the whole time I was like, I have found a creative new way to fuck my life up instead of the other ways that I find to fuck my life up. And now the new phones don't work like the old phones.
Uh-oh.
Like
Tell
the
me about it.
button.
I had an iPhone 6.
What's yours now?
I don't know. 11, 12, 13, one of those.
So when you get to a whatever this is, 15, the charging port is different. So
Oh.
I'm in the truck, the phone's dying. I'm like, oh, I'll just plug it in. Oh, wait, they don't have the lightning charger now. It's some C thing. I'm like, why are we changing this? Who gives a fuck how
You
the
could
phone
have
gets
wireless
charged?
charging though. You could just plop it on the wireless charger.
Oh, well, because it's a 15 and it's a really old model, which the 16s came out like, I don't know, 4 weeks ago. Because it's an old model, the Telestore doesn't have any case selection for the phone.
Mm.
So I was like, what kind of case do you have? And the guy said, oh, we have an OtterBox Defender. It comes with a clip. You can wear it on your belt. I said, that's awesome, man. I've officially reached 50. I'm going to start clipping this phone to my belt every day.
Maybe you wouldn't lose it so much then.
So he says, if you don't like this case, we don't have any other choice. I said, okay, cool. Whatever, just give it to me. I need to get out of this store. I've been here for 2.5 hours and it your phone when you restore the phone, it will only download apps off of Wi-Fi. It won't do it off a cell network.
Hmm.
So I'm waiting in the store for the apps I need to function as a person to download on the phone. Some of them I don't give a fuck about. Some of them I do. And he says, but this OtterBox Defender case is $74. If you don't like it, it seems like a waste. I'm like, dude, listen, again, I don't have time to go to Best Buy and figure out which case works on this apparently super old phone because it's like whatever, it's a 15. I'm like, listen, I'm just gonna go home and order one from Amazon. So for the next week, I'm gonna need a case. So it is what it is. Just give it to me. Because again, I don't care about the $74. I'm like missing phone calls and stuff that's important to me. Other than that, we haven't had a bad week. We got guys working in Barrie on a soil spreading job, which is like vertical 1-to-1 berm hills that are like, not exaggerating, like 40 feet tall because
Ew.
they didn't want to pay to haul the soil off site. So they just built
Pile it
this
up.
insane berm in front of it. I mean, it's insane. It's huge.
Wow.
So we got Arndt Slinger and Car Excavating supplying the soil, and we had to spread it 3 inches or yeah, no less than, I think 3 inches thick. So the guy's just spraying the hill with the slinger. It's actually going really good. We had to plant. The best part of it is, I think when they designed it flat, like the landscape architect, because they weren't anticipating having, I don't know, 20,000 loads of soil put there. So the trees are on the top of the hill. I have a video on my Instagram. There's guys planting these trees like 40 feet up on this meaningless berm in the middle of Barrie.
Wow.
It's wild.
Nice.
It's a wild job. Yeah.
We
Nate,
we may have something coming up with you, eh?
really?
Announce to you, maybe. I don't know. It's a residential in Picton.
Shit. Oh, the residential job?
Yeah.
Jack
They
asked me
fired
about it.
yeah, they fired the landscaper out there. and my partner got the call. There's
To go in
yeah, it's like 52 days of work, and
52 days.
yeah, and nobody from either one of our crews wants to go up there in November
Wow.
to work
52
in
days.
Picton. Yeah, well, according to
52 days.
Jack or something. I don't know.
I know Jack called me about getting rid of the soil.
Oh, they have excess soil
Yeah, that's what Jack said.
in Picton.
Yeah. He asked me for prices for the excess soil to get rid of it.
Hmm.
I said, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that comes through.
So did
What's
you
your
guys
favorite?
get that job?
We don't know yet. We're not sure. But the clock is
Picked.
ticking. We're running out of season.
Yeah. We're like
So
all of a sudden crazy busy.
yeah, us too.
Jack closed 2 fire halls.
Nice.
Uh, he closed. He's well. It's not closed yet. I don't like to say that, but it's very close to a bunch of pavers on Georgina Island.
Hmm.
And we closed a small job with the general or the big contractor we work for at Seneca College. That's only like 3 days. We have a residential left. This is the busiest we've been all year.
They say all the money comes in the last 3 months of the season.
And then the first day we were at the berry job, they asked us to price like a $350,000 extra. So
Beautiful.
yeah, we'll see if we get that. That would be good. It would be. It just says the busiest we try and I guess we try and wind up the season strong.
Yeah.
So, are you guys packed for H&A?
I haven't started packing yet.
No, that'll be the night before.
Yeah.
That will be.
When are we
the night
leaving?
before.
Tuesday morning, Mike?
Yeah, Tuesday morning.
Okay, great. I'm picking you up in Toronto or Kitchener?
Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. Ready for
Great.
the road trip?
Ready for the road trip.
Cool.
You and I.
Yeah. Chad keeps on messaging me, Mike, are we gonna have a Diddy party?
A Diddy party.
I don't know what that means.
I've got 3 bottles of baby oil. That's it. Any more, you need to supply it.
That leather in the King Ranch suits a baby oil party.
Yeah.
Absorb it right up. That real. Is it still like real distressed leather in a King Ranch?
No, it's very supple leather. It's
Supple.
a lot
Nice.
more supple than the Ram.
Yeah, the ram leather is not supple.
No, it's
Did your seats have suede on them? The suede is supple.
no. There's no suede. It's all leather.
Oh, yeah, mine have suede on them.
No. My Ram is in at the Dodge dealer right now, getting some things. And they said, "Can we start with 3 hours?" I said, "Sure, start with 3 hours, diagnostic or whatever." And then they're starting to diagnose this thing, and they're like, "Oh, well, it could be a battery." I'm just like, the DPF is not fucking linked to the battery. They're like, "We want to do all these battery tests." I said, "Why don't you just change the fucking battery?" They're like, well, they're like, "It's gonna be $1,500 to run the battery test." I'm like, "Change the fucking battery for $300." Like, I'm like, you have to realize I'm selling this thing. I just need
They
the
want
lights to be off. Like, I need no warnings on the dash, and then it can be sold. So they're like, "There's a lot of soot in your tailpipe." I said, "So clean it. Blow out the DPF. I don't know. Do something." And I
There's a
can't.
lot of soot in your tailpipe.
Yeah. So that's your DEF fluid hard at work, obviously doing its job.
So they're saying the battery is why the DPF light is on?
No, they're just trying to shovel as much money into their pockets as they can, right? If you go in with a product or a problem that no other shop can diagnose because you need the RAM computer reader,
Yeah.
they know that they're just shoveling boatloads of money into their pocket because you can't do it. Your hands are tied, right? You can't go anywhere else. So it is what it is.
So what did they charge you per hour for the 3 hours?
I don't know. I'm sure it's like 300 bucks, probably 100 bucks an hour, 105 or something like that.
And
And
so
then
they discovered nothing.
and they discovered that it could be the battery or it could be a sensor and that there's soot in the tailpipe. So I authorized $1,400 and I said, make the problems go away.
They're
I gotta
saying they
work
can
on it.
get the soot out of the tailpipe for 1,400.
No, no, that's where they're gonna start. And then it's bend and spread for some more money. But
How many kilometers are on that truck?
191,000.
Hmm.
So, oh well, that's the price you pay, right?
Wow, if you want to drive diesel vehicles.
A truck. Yeah,
Diesel vehicles are a bitch.
yeah, yeah. I thought about trading in all my Fords for Isuzus, but then the prices are really shitty on Isuzus. Like they're no cheaper. They're actually more expensive. So
Why did you want to do that?
I don't know. I feel like it's safer to drive around in cab overs.
Safer how?
For safer for everybody around you. Like there's no big front end. You can see like right off the front. Like field of vision is better. I feel
They
like
look cooler.
we could really get behind a fleet of cab over trucks.
I bet these users are better on fuel.
Probably, yeah. Apparently they're worse on towing, but
How much do you tow with the 1 tons?
not much. Like I do most of the towing for the company or the tandems. So,
Yeah, so the new driver has a 1,500 Chevy, the 3 liter diesel, and
ooh,
he gets 1,100 kilometers to the tank.
holy.
So I'm looking at our 2,500s going, the most that these two trucks ever tow is the tool trailers. Very rarely do they tow anything else because we either move the equipment in the bin trucks or we have a 20-ton tag float, a 30-ton tag float, 2 triaxles, 3 bin trucks, float bins, flat decks. Like I float equipment with my pickup a lot on the
Yeah.
weekends.
Yeah.
But the other two pickups, they're usually either floating nothing or they're towing a single axle tool trailer. So why do we need these 2,500 pickup trucks? We should get rid of both of them and get 1,100 kilometer per tank Chevy 1,500s
That'd be the way to go.
because we don't do anything with all those trucks have is fuel cells in them.
Yeah.
They both have the two crew trucks both have fuel cells in them. But one of them is my previous 2015 Chevy Silverado with 450,000 kilometers on it that I feel like doesn't owe us anything. So although that one uses quite a bit of fuel, it doesn't have a lot of costs outside of that.
Yeah. It's nice to just have a spare pickup. We've never had a spare pickup. No, everybody always has to take a dump truck somewhere.
Mm.
Maybe one day.
The brown, even if we decided to get a couple new of these Chevys, even if we decided to do that, I would keep the brown truck. It's fucking worthless. Like
Maybe
what's someone gonna give you for that?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be some young kid's first truck, you know? It could be
It's
making
pretty
someone's dream come to fruition.
it's got a cool set of rims on it and it's got a leveling kit on the front.
There you go.
It's pretty neat. It's a nice looking truck. It's only got a little bit of rust. I was thinking about doing the body work on it and getting it painted black because it's cheaper than buying a new one.
Yeah. My old boss
Yeah.
drives around in an ancient, I think it's a 2005 GMC 2500. The box doesn't match the cab and the bumper is made out of like a tube and like they just screwed it on. Then they borrowed my trailer and the bumper fell off. because they were towing with it or something like that. Anyway, the guy is loaded, right? Still drives around this piece of shit Duramax 2500 where nothing matches.
That's the guys with the money.
Guys with them. That's why I have no money on all these trucks.
I saw that you're. So is the tank on your water truck aluminum?
Yeah,
How can you paint that? I didn't like.
yeah.
Can you
This thing is
paint
painted.
aluminum? Hmm.
Yeah, with the I don't know, but the
Oh,
paint
I'm
on.
sure you can paint aluminum. Like the cab of Christie's truck is made out of aluminum. It's painted, so I'm assuming. I
Yeah,
pictured
like
you
it.
like polishing the fuck out of it so it was shiny and silver.
I don't know how you get that paint off.
The
Like,
Altamar paint.
yeah, we're going the cost-effective option. We're just gonna paint the whole thing
Mhm.
black. It just it would take so much sandblasting to get that tank aluminum again.
And then polish it.
Polishing, yeah. We'd be
At
in
least
it
you
for
know paint sticks to it.
yeah, yeah. So Bernie spent the whole day on the sander. Someone called him Bernie Sanders. Well, he spent his day doing that, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna paint it before I go away." He goes to Nova Scotia every winter. He has a house
Mhm.
down there. He's like, "I'll get it painted before I go."
Who goes to Nova Scotia in the winter?
His wife made him move down there for the winter, and he comes back every spring. So he's got some watering to do. He's gonna paint that truck, plant a couple trees with me, and he can go to Nova Scotia.
When is he painting the truck?
I don't know. Better be soon.
He's got a couple trees to plant, and then he's painting this truck.
Or running out of time. I got a lot of sod to do. I'm probably gonna have 10,000 meters to put in, 100,000
Wow,
square feet in the next month.
that's a fair whack of sod.
Yeah, we're holding back on doing it though. I want to get all the topsoil done while the weather is good, and then whenever the weather turns to shit, we'll spend time putting the sod down because it's awful working in wet topsoil. But right now it's nice
Yes.
and dry, so and you won't
Yeah,
have to water it.
it seemed like everywhere I went on Monday, it was beautiful, except right over top of where we're working on the massive berm. It was pouring rain there,
In the muck
like
on a berm.
fucking pouring rain on the berm. And
Yeah.
even today, everywhere I went, it wasn't raining, but it was pouring rain on the berm again. Can it stop raining here? Can it rain like 2 kilometers west? Like what the fuck?
Maybe the berm is so big that you've changed the weather pattern in the area.
It's huge, man. It's the stupidest, weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's fuck. Then we have to terrace seed it.
Oh,
At least we're not sodding it.
yeah. Sod pins. Every once in a while, someone will call me for sod pins.
Sod pins.
Sod pins? Because nobody has sod pins anymore. It's been years since I've used sod pins.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Not,
I honestly I don't remember the last time we used them either.
yeah.
We used them we at the Canoe Museum, one of the specs was these little weird weed mat discs that had to go around every shrub.
Coconut discs.
Yeah, they weren't coconut discs, so there were some other kind of stupid fiber, but similar to what you're talking about. And when you read the box they come in, it says you put them on, then you put the mulch on top of them. But the spec from the architect was to put them on top of the mulch. Which, if there's a nice heavy rainfall, the stuff kind of disintegrates into the mulch and it binds together and it's great. But if there's a major windstorm before the nice rainfall, there's these little discs everywhere. I think we put them on 3 times. On a good portion of the things, we put them on 3 times before the final of the
Wow.
final of the third of the final inspections.
Wow.
So
Hmm.
we have we have one crew that's staying away. This is our first time we've ever sent people away to stay overnight.
Ever?
Yeah, I've never done. I've been like Paper Kings never sent anyone to stay overnight.
I like it because I like to work. It's like a working holiday. I don't like to go for more than a week there, but
So I didn't go.
Hmm.
Billy's leading the crew up there. I couldn't. I can't. I can chop a week out of my life. So, especially right now, Paisley's got. This week we're going to Mount Allison Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. We got a flight home, so she's home at 6. So then she can go to the FTF scouting tournament for Sunday and Monday. And then next week, when you guys are at H&A, we're going to Algoma University in Sault Ste. Marie because they want her to play there. And then the week after that, we're going to Missouri to Harris Stroh because they want her to play there as well. So, and she was at Trent last week. So she has 4, but this is like when everyone's getting signed right now in that world.
Wow.
So,
really,
yeah, so it's great for her. She's got 4 universities that are legitimately interested. So,
nice.
yeah, I'm happy for her. She put a lot of hard work in to get to there where there's, and 3 of them, I think she would, all 4 of them, I think she would play in her first year, which is pretty rare to play in your first year. So one of them, I think she'd play almost all the games in her first year. So
Wow.
she tried to focus on finding places she would play. So
At field time.
well, I like if you work all that time and then you go to university and then you
Yeah.
sit on some of the girls don't even roster for 4 years.
Wow.
So they never even get to sit on the bench, never mind play. You get to go on the bus and you get to sit in the stands, but you don't ever make it on the roster.
That's
So,
discouraging.
Yeah.
oh, there's a vast portion of girls who go to university and never play. Especially if you go to one of the big schools like Western, Queens, UBC. They'll carry 40, 50 girls on their roster or something. And then they can only insure 30. So then there's like 15 girls on the roster that aren't even insured if they get hurt.
Oh, wow.
But they do that to suck up all the people from going to the other universities, right?
All these politics, I never would have thought.
There's a lot of politics in it, yeah. So, anyways, Paisley avoided it all by finding she sent tape to. She decided she really wanted to play. That was more important, and so she sent tape to all the worst teams across Canada, hoping that she would get the chance to play.
If that's the winning strategy,
So
why
far,
not?
we're going to we're going to Mount Allison. I think she would potentially play in Mount Allison too. So
She's got
I
a
think
little Paper King in her, finding a way to make things work for her advantage.
she has done that her whole life. One of the things I'm proudest of her that she got that trait from me. She, no matter what's happening, she'll figure out a way to end run around everything and still get where she wants to go.
Perfect. What better skill can you ask for in a child or of your own child?
She wanted to go to OFSA with her friends, but she's a good distance runner, but she's not great and she's not fast at sprinting. But she really wanted to go to OFSA for track, so she ran steeplechase because no one else does. So she made it, and she got to go to OFSA. So I was more proud of her for gaming the system.
Good.
She learned 2 things from her dad. Always carry a thing of lighter fluid and lighter because it gets you out of a lot of trouble. Because as soon as you spray someone with lighter fluid and light a lighter, they go away no matter who they are because no one wants to burn to death.
I think that's illegal.
What?
I think that can send you to jail.
I've done it lots of times. It's gotten me out of lots of trouble.
Set someone on fire?
No, just sprayed them with the lighter fluid and lit the lighter. And then they're like, no one wants to burn to death, so they go away. You get punched way less than normal. Haven't always led such an above board life. I still have lighter fluid in my truck for that reason. in the door of my truck. Someone tries to jump me, just then you light your lighter, and then they go, "I don't want to burn to death," and they quickly leave. It's great. Works awesome. If you learn nothing else from knowing me, know that you should always have a thing of lighter fluid in the door of your truck. It will get you out of more problems than you could ever anticipate.
What about a thing of baby oil?
I don't know what. Well, that seems to get you arrested. So that seems to get you arrested. I can't. Someone asked Paisley. I think we were doing like an Instagram thing where she was answering the questions, and someone asked, "What have you learned from your dad?" And she was like, "I always have lighter fluid on you."
That's awesome.
Our dad. Like, spray someone with lighter fluid, they'll always go away. Because no one wants to be the Salem witch trials.
That's the truth.
That is the truth. It's way better than fighting and getting punched. Getting punched sucks.
Question. If you had a client and you were ripping up brick from their project to scrap it, get rid of it, whatever, and you said, because there's potential that they'd see it, they had a circle kit, a full circle kit, 11 feet wide circle kit, right? All intact. I said, "Are you keeping this brick?" She goes, "No, get rid of it." I said, "Okay. It's probably going to wind up on Marketplace." Would you tell them that it's going to wind up on Marketplace and that you're selling it?
Why would you be
Because a lot
bothered
of
with that?
what's that?
Oh, just from my perspective, that would never happen in my life because I don't have time for that. I would throw it in a truck.
We've established you throw everything away or take it back
Yes.
to the retailer, and I don't, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So-
So would I tell them? No, because it's your brick.
Yeah, but it's also their brick, or at one time it was their brick.
How much do you think you could sell it for?
$200. A lot of people who pay $200 for a used circle kit in Cornwall.
So by the time you stack it on skids,
There's $100 left over, at least.
you did this time.
Yes,
you
I've
figured
done
this
it.
out?
Yes, I've done it. Put it in my software. I've done it. There's $100 left over.
Through my software. You should be the next strategic partner.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible strategic partner. You should become a strategic partner. I don't know if you could. I guess if you could pocket $200, it's worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what like how much? What's the job worth? What's the total job worth to these people?
$14,000.
I don't. Do you think they're going to want a part of it?
No.
50-50? $50 each?
Are you worried about them seeing it on Marketplace?
Yeah, that's why I told them. I said it'll likely end up on Marketplace.
What did they say?
So I'd rather be honest with them up front to say, hey, this might end up online, you know? Because if any other landscaper had to do it and dump it, well, there's at least a $50 dumping fee for this?
I thought you dumped it at your yard for free.
I do.
Isn't that always
For
your
any other-
argument?
I do.
Any other
right?
landscaper.
Yeah.
But if I weren't me, if I was Mike, I'm paying to take it up and I'm paying to get rid of it. This way I'm paying to take it up, but I'm recouping by selling it. Right?
How much extra do you think it's taking to stack it on organized skids instead of just scoop it up with a bobcat and load it in a truck?
They never pick up brick with the bobcat ever. Like, I've never asked guys to scoop it up with a bobcat. They always hand bomb it into the bucket, no matter what it is. And maybe that's wrong. I just feel like...
Well, I don't think it's wrong. It's obviously been successful. I was just saying what the time difference is.
So if the guy makes $25 an hour or whatever, it takes him an hour to lift up the circle kit. Put on 2 pallets. Those pallets go to the truck. They go back to the yard. Total 3 hours. It's maybe $60, $80 if you're being aggressive with how much it costs you to get rid of it. There's $120 left.
And then you're gonna install it too?
No, this is Lionscape here. Uh,
This isn't Lionsgate.
no, come pick it up at the yard. $200. I just feel like I'm getting ahead of it by telling her that it's going to be.
But why not? Why don't you just get your wife to put it up?
I don't know why. I guess I could have, but
But then you'll have CRA knocking on your door again.
well, maybe. What is you? You know what? That circle kit looks really familiar. You know, at least now
That circle
everything's
kit
out in
is
the open.
really-
I wouldn't have told them personally, but I would probably have. I used to when I lifted and relayed driveways, and if we were doing new stone, I would palletize them, and then I'd have my delivery driver or who delivered the stone for me just take it to the whoever bought it, and I would just give the money to him as like a tip.
Hmm. Yeah. If
So I like the differences in the three personalities. I like this. It's really interesting. Mike would spend the time to palletize it so that a delivery driver would pocket a bit of extra cash.
Yeah.
No, that's your personality. Chad will get one of his people to pallet because Mike was palletizing it personally, so we need to keep that in mind.
I did have an employee then as well, so
Well, no, but you're still personally pallet. How much of the circle kit did you personally palletize, Chad?
0 pieces.
okay.
Okay, so
I see.
Mike's palletizing so that a delivery driver can get a dinner at the keg. Chad is making someone else palletize so he can pocket $120 cash, essentially, after the costs. I could care less about any of that, and I'm demoing it as quickly as possible and throwing it in the garbage.
But then you miss out on $120.
Again, I don't care about $120.
That's like
I just-
10%
it's
of
so
your
much-
phone paid off.
I would pay $120 to have people not contact me from Marketplace.
Yeah, I'm surprised, Chad, that you would actually entertain that. I didn't think that you would.
I'll do a lot of things for money.
I hate people though. I hate people, and I hate people from
I know, but you were
Marketplace.
selling the Chinese excavators. You're complaining about like just dealing with people and having to post things and them come up and set up a time. I figured that this was
I'm hot
$100
and cold.
is not worth that.
No, whenever winter comes, and money stops coming in, and I can feel it, right? I can feel it now. There's only so many more months left, and I'm trying to soak in every dollar that I can. It's not that I need it.
Yeah,
It's not like I'm poor or anything, right?
it's like a
It's just
game to you.
You know what
like a
my
game.
issue is with it
That's it.
is it just takes too long to palletize it. I could
Yeah.
rip it up in 8 minutes and have it in a truck, and that hour to me, I'm not saying I think it's still profitable. I agree with your
So-
assessment of it, but for me, I'm like that's delaying me getting to the next job. Like that, if you add up all the hours for the whole year doing that, you could have maybe got in 2 more jobs.
Well, I'm not doing it every job, right? And I sent 3 guys out to the site in the morning. 2 of them are excavating the site. One of them is stacking this brick.
Yeah, I'm just
Because you
that's
don't need
just my,
3 guys to excavate the site. So
I'm just saying from my mentality. I'm not
Yeah.
saying my mentality's right. I'm saying in my mentality, I just don't have time for that kind of stuff.
yeah, no, I get that. And maybe I shouldn't
What?
have time for this sort of thing.
I'm not saying you shouldn't. If it's important to you and you think it adds to your success, then you should be doing it. It's like if Mike thinks it's important to make sure that the delivery driver gets a keg dinner and that adds to his success, I think Mike should keep doing that.
I don't
Yeah.
do that anymore. But
Who's saying in my lifetime, how many well, I can tell you there's one job. When I first went back to Ridge Lake, I went back as strictly a laborer. And the first thing we did was go right to Highway 2 and Brock Street in Whitby on the corner and start stacking these mini Hollands, which I don't even know if you guys even remember mini Holland. They
That
were
they're all like the
two
tiny
by,
20 size ones.
yeah, they were 2x8s.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then, but to lay a driveway, you had to touch like 40,000 bricks because they were 2x8s, right?
Yep.
Um, so there was pallets and pallets of these things, and I don't know. We loaded like, say, we did it for 3 days, and there was still endless pallets of it to be cleaned and stacked, and it was all just going to the town of Whitby Yard to go into storage. And no one really knew how much was there and how much wasn't there. And on the third day, I finally crawled up off my knees and said, okay, start scooping that up with the skid steer, dumping it in that truck, and take it to Hardco and dump it in the concrete pile. And they were like, whoa, we can't do that. I'm like, we're doing it. And the one guy said to me, that's not what Dean wants. And I said, bro, I've known him for longer than you've been alive. I know what he fucking wants. Scoop this shit up, get the fuck rid of it. And the two guys that were used to me that had worked there, Bo and I had worked there previously, were like, thank God he's back. We don't have to be in charge anymore. I have no patience or tolerance for that stuff. I wish I did. I'm probably walked away from thousands and thousands of dollars in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That I've just dumped in Arns or dumped at Hardco or miscellaneously dumped at some guy's property named Zoltan that needed to fucking lift up his land and wanted bricks. That's where Cody takes all the used skit. I get bins full of pavers. Should bring them up to Cornwall and we'll stack them on skids.
Yeah. Bring them to Cornwall. I'll have a guy hand stack them all. Yeah.
I've got your own seconds yard.
I priced a job. It was to demo. It's like 20 or 30,000 square feet in in this weird condo complex, and then excavate it. I only priced the relaying of the new pavers, but then someone reached out to me on Instagram and said, "Hey, can you?" I have this job in Curtis where I have to get rid of hordes and hordes of bins of pavers and triaxle loads. We've been hauling them away in triaxles, these pavers.
Wow.
And when he said to me, the guy was talking to me, he's like, yeah, it's in Curtis, blah, 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 because he was asking for pricing. And I said, is this job on Nash Road? He goes, yeah. I said, I priced this, you motherfucker. You undercut me. I was just joking. I don't care. Like, and he says to me, this job is shit. You should be thankful that I undercut you. That's like, fair enough. But we're still getting our piece because we've hauled away all the fill. And I bet conservatively, we've hauled 30 triaxles of pavers out of that place.
Think of all the money you could have had.
Restacking them, putting them on skids, selling them on Marketplace.
I guarantee you would have made money doing that.
Instead, they're in the crusher.
You could hire some new Canadians or something to stack these. What are they called? What seasonal?
Temporary foreign workers.
Temporary foreign workers.
The government would pay 40% of their time. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have made a boatload.
Talking to Jack today, and we're building a wall, and the geotech guy had to come. So I called Jack. Hey, did you hear about the geotech guy? Like what the fuck went on with that? Because when Ricky dug the base, it looks like shit to me. Like it definitely looks like something that needs an amendment or some kind of like. I looked at it, I was like, there's no fucking way someone's letting them build a wall on that, but the geotech guy's got to come. So I said, Jay, my phone's been fucked up all day. Did you hear about the geotech? Like, what was the outcome of this? And Jack says, I don't know. I couldn't really understand him. He sounded like he drives a Corolla.
Oh, that's an important detail, though.
He sounded like he drove a Corolla.
No, the state of the base, not what he drives.
No, I know, but it's just, I think Jack was making a reference to his accent. He sounds like he drives a Corolla.
Understood, but
yeah. So the guy, Ricky has video of him because Ricky didn't trust him in case something goes bad. He made a video of the guy. The guy came with a little stick and poked the ground in one spot and said, yeah, go ahead, build the wall.
Huh.
What do you do? Okay, cool, man. Let's build the wall on a swamp. Fuck yeah. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't. But if the geotech is the one authorizing it, what are you going to do?
Built a wall.
Build the
Built the
fucking
wall.
wall. He's the expert. And I said to
A
Ricky,
lot of money to build.
I said, Jack says he sounds like he drives a Corolla. Ricky's like, he does drive a Corolla, actually. I was like, oh my God. Fucking meeting every geotech stereotype on the planet.
I had yesterday I had a city guy come out to my job site.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Apparently the neighbor complained about so this yard is on a slope going down and it goes right into another person's backyard. And apparently they in the past have had water issues because of that. And the neighbor, not even him, was asking me questions about what I was building, and he ended up calling the city to complain in advance for his backyard neighbor for possible water issues.
Huh. So you threw your client under the bus?
I threw my client under the
Well, did
bus?
you? Well, you explained to the guy what you were building, and I know how much
No, I tried to
piping you're
stay
putting
as
underneath.
vague as possible, but he can also just look through the chain link fence and see exactly what I'm building, right?
What are you
And
building?
it's just a patio on open grade, but there's also an outlet, and I'm doing a small French drain as well. So he's like, "Yeah, that neighbor in behind them, they're always having water issues." I'm like, "Yeah, it's. I mean, we're not introducing any more water into their backyard. Like they're on the bottom of a hill. They're gonna get all the runoff." And but he's been like super nice to me up until that time. And then the
Mhm.
city guy comes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, what you doing here?" Just building this, and we got this going on. And he's like, "Yeah, we got a complaint from somebody, and it seems that you're on a hill, so it's not even a big deal. It makes sense what you're doing. See ya." That was it.
Really,
Oh, PK's going.
though, what can the city do?
Yeah, he just said
Hey,
that you had to stay
oh,
so far away from the fence with the pop up of what's going to happen there. But
oh, the
I
pop
already
up
knew that,
thing.
and the pop up's going into gardens, so yeah.
Oh, so you buried the eaves trough.
Uh, yeah, on one side of the house.
Is that what's going into the pop up? The
Yeah,
eaves trough? Hmm.
yeah. But right now, it's just a channel going into. It's an open channel going into the garden.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, you know how I told you guys last week that I was lending some money to an employee?
Mm.
So he's got my money now, which is fine. And I made the bookkeeper aware of the arrangement. And after work, he was sitting having a beer with another one of the employees at their car. If they didn't want to go home to their wives or something. Um, I said, okay, guys, I'll see you later. Want to walk my dog? Turn around, walk the dog up the hill towards the church into my neighborhood, and I get a phone call from I don't know. I guess they're like a loan company or something. They're
Mm.
looking, checking into the guy who I had just lent money to, who's getting a car loan, which maybe not the best idea if you're borrowing a bunch of money for other stuff.
Mm.
Mm.
Uh, I didn't take the call because I always filter my calls. I get back to him later. But so
You
anyway,
don't just answer random calls.
nope, never,
I
never.
used to not. I used to not do that, but now I answer all calls because I don't. I'm not in a position work wise to risk that someone, because I'm terrible at returning messages or attending appointments or virtually anything other than answering the phone. So I
I don't like setting meetings up on the spot. I need time to think about when I'm free.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like I just can't. If someone is like, "Oh, are you busy? Can you come see me?" I got to think about it here. Otherwise, I'll end up double booking myself somewhere and letting someone down.
That seems fair. I would never book an appointment if someone asks me for an appointment on the phone. I tell them they have to send me an email because I'm male, and if you just tell me on the phone, I'll forget and I'll fuck it up. I say to them, I'm not female. I can't keep all that stuff in my brain and keep track of it.
Yeah. Yeah.